Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Jumpin here, and today I'm going to be bringing you another special gameplay. This is going to be the Drell Vanguard revised build, which a lot of people wanted to see. A lot of people don't know I actually had a Drell Vanguard build on my channel, but I do. Alright, now he's going to be using the Rieger Carbine. Of course, I recommend piercing with damage, pretty standard. Now, the reason, one of the things, by the way, I've always said that Rieger Carbine is amazing on Vanguards, and this is still the case. Okay, for your charge, I still like Radius. I think Radius is good for helping your teammates out if they're using adapts or something. Now, you could go for power synergy here for the grenades, but I way prefer the weapons damage for the Rieger Carbine. Alright, now for the barrier, for the last one, barrier, that's very standard. Almost never avoid that. Alright, for cluster grenades, you're going to want force and damage. I feel that because he's so close range, why not go for the force and damage? Definitely go for max grenades, and then finally shrapnel. I always call it shrapnel, I don't know why, but it's shrapnel. Alright, for the Drell Assassin, damage capacity, pretty standard. Power damage, and then finally weapons damage. If you don't know, guys, the Drells get more carrying capacity than anyone else. Now, right here, wait a minute. What the hell? I actually have melee damage. I was actually really surprised when I seen this, and I felt really stupid for a second, because in this gameplay, I don't actually melee at all. And I kind of forgot that I actually built this guy originally for, melee. Now, if you look at his health and shields, it's 400 barriers with 800 health. If you were to get the durability, your health goes up to 900 and your shields go up to 450. So I just don't think it's worth it. I think the melee, overall, the melee damage, the martial artist, and then the fitness expert is way better. Alright, now for the ammo types or the equipment, I'm going to be using Warp Rounds 4. Shotgun Relamp 1 because I absolutely have no shotgun amps besides ones. And then, I'm using the Commando package. This was a mistake. This is what I'm using in the gameplay. But I would recommend grenade capacity on this guy, even though I refuse to use grenade capacity. But I would probably use Berserker package more than likely because I don't like grenade capacity. But grenade capacity would be your best way to go. And then finally, Power Amp 3. So that's all the equipment. Let me go ahead and get into this gameplay and tell you a little bit about this build and how I feel about it. First thing I wanted to say is that, it's going to be on Glacier and it's going to be against Reapers, so this should be very interesting, and of course it's going to be gold. Now, first thing I wanted to say, which is very important, is the thing about this guy is that I do like him, but out of all the Vanguards, he is by far, and I mean this, by far, the most flimsy, weakling Vanguard in the game. And the Vanguard class is really meant to charge into battle, take the blunt of the damage for your teammates to help them out and to distract enemies and to just be a slayer. Now, he has the slaying aspect down. He is a very good killer. He can kill enemies very quickly. His grenades are unbelievable. Like, cluster nades are amazing. I think everybody knows that by now. But the main thing about him that is just not that great is his shields. His shields are just so whack. His health is okay, but his shields are whack. And also, you can make this guy into somewhat of a melee build. That was my intentions with the melee damage and the martial artist. I just kind of, like I said, I made this guy a long time ago. I intended to do a gameplay with him, and it's been so long that I kind of forgot. That was one of my things I wanted to do, was to do melees. Now, would I recommend doing melees when you have a Rieger Carbine? Not really. But there is some enemies in the game that you should definitely melee. One of them would actually be Phantoms. Phantoms can definitely mess you up. And his melee is so fast, his heavy melee is so fast, and has such a demon lunge to it at times. It actually does have an amazing demon lunge to it, that if you were to melee a Phantom, you would stagger her. You wouldn't just stun her, but you would stagger her, making it very easy to shoot her with the Rieger Carbine. And then finally probably charge her to kill her. So that would be the main enemy to melee, I would say. Other enemies you could try. Now this guy would be really bad against Geth. And right here is going to be a perfect example of how weak and flimsy this guy is. I have no idea how I died there. That was very odd. And I'm going to die somewhat in this gameplay. Not too much, but somewhat, just because he is so flimsy. It's the same as playing with like a Geth Engineer or an Infiltrator. He's a glass cannon. He's a good slayer. His grenades are really good, and his overall attacks, his melees, his offense is pretty good. But the main thing that sucks about him is the fact that, yeah, he is flimsy as hell, and Vanguard classes need to be somewhat beefy. That's really the main problem also with the human, is that he's just a little, or really both humans, is that they're very flimsy in the game. But like I said, overall this gameplay will be really sick. This gameplay will be really good. But yeah, let me go ahead and get into some other stuff I wanted to talk about in this video. As you may know, in my last video, I talked about all the new DLC stuff coming out, which is going to be awesome and epic. But I actually forgot a couple things. I didn't actually have time because I actually got too lost and distracted to talk about every single aspect of it, and I just was kind of forgot. I kind of forgot everything. The main thing I didn't talk about in that video was the new Adapt, which is a human. I don't know if it's anything special. I don't know. I know one power. I do not know the other two, and I know it has 2 new powers and 1 old power, but it's still going to be technically a new power because it has yet to be in the multiplayer. And what that power, the only one I know that it's going to have, and the only one that I'm actually at all interested in, is Dark Channel. It's going to have Dark Channel. Now, if you have gotten the From Ashes DLC, you may know that Javik, who is a character in the single player, actually comes with Dark Channel. And Dark Channel is freaking broken as hell. It is amazing. Now, will it be game breaking? I don't know. It's gonna make Reapers really easy, and I'll tell you why. It is a really good setup power. I don't know if it can detonate. I don't remember. Right here I'm gonna get grabbed, but then my teammates are gonna knock me loose, and it looks really epic, like because I've somehow got on a wall. Don't really know. But anyway, like I said, in the single player, Dark Channel was amazing. It really was. It was a very good setup power. Overall, probably not the best for explosions, but in the same sense, it was still very good. Still a very good power in the game for explosions, just because in the single player, there really wasn't many ways to explode stuff, and that was one of the only options you had was to use Javik. Now, the thing that I'm most interested in, which I don't think a lot of people even paid attention to about Dark Channel, was the fact of its debuff ability. It is by far the best debuff in the entire game. Dark Channel was the best debuff. The first thing about Dark Channel that's amazing is that it gives you at least 30% slow. It could be 35%. I don't really remember. You guys can correct me. Like I said, it's been a while since I played the single player, so I really can't tell you if it was 35% or 30%. But it gives, the 5th evolution of it gives you slow, which is pretty decent for debuffing. It can slow down things like Banshees and Brutes, and that would really come in handy, to be honest. But the one thing that makes it so overpowered and so amazing is the fact of its last evolution. You can go for, and I swear this is how it works. If you guys are familiar with Reeve, you should just think of Dark Channel as a non-radius Reeve. It is a single target Reeve. That's pretty much the best way to put it. And the main thing about Dark Channel that's different is that it also has an ability at the 6th evolution called Armor and Barriers. Now, in Reeve, the description of it says that it is more effective against Armor and Barrier. So meaning Reeve is more powerful in general against armors and barrier. Where Dark Channel's wording, which I don't know if this is absolutely right, but the way they worded it made me think that this is the way it is. And what that is that it says it does 75% more damage to armor and barriers. Now, it doesn't say the power does. It sounds like a debuff. I took it as a debuff. So, if that's what it's going to be, if it's going to be 75% more damage in general to armor and barriers, that will be amazing. That would be pretty broken, honestly. If you could deal 75% more damage to Banshees, because that's really the way you gotta think about it. Banshees. It is the total anti-Banshee power in the game. Because, like I said, it slows them, which can really, really help you out against a Banshee if you could slow it. And then the final thing is that you would do more damage to its barriers and its armor. 75% more. In general, if it goes off of in general damage. So I don't know. I really don't know, guys. If that's the case, like I said, it's going to be an extremely, extremely good power, making that adapt probably the best in the game. And if they did decide to finally, because that's the reason why I don't think they ever came out with Dark. Everyone's been saying, oh, they should have put Dark Channel on one of the people, one of the characters, one of the DLC people, and they have yet to do it. Now they're doing it. I think the reason why they didn't want to do it was because it was so overpowered, or it had potential to be so good. So good. But if they do come out with this Dark Channel power, really what's going to happen is that I think the reason why they decided to finally come out with it, which I know they will debuff that. They will debuff that. 75% more damage in general to armor and barriers will make every boss in this game super easy. And that adapt will literally be a must. Or not a must, but it will definitely come in handy for the new platinum difficulty. If you like wow, I hate when that happens with the charge. But yeah, if you wanted to see some really broken stuff, or really if you just wanted to really help your team out in platinum, that would be a way to do it, is to use Dark Channel. If you could Dark Channel Reapers, or if you could Dark Channel any boss level like Primes or Atlases, or any type of enemy with armor, and it actually did do 75% more damage in general to armor and barriers, you're talking about an amazing ability. Now, like I said, I'm not 100% about this. This is all my opinion. This is all based off of information, what I come up with. I didn't actually get this information from anywhere. I just came up with this from reading the power and kind of going off of that, because, like I said, the difference between Reeve and the difference between that power is the wording. They worded it a lot different. And because of that, I just think that they literally do two opposite things, where Reeve does just more damage. Reeve itself does more damage to armors and barriers. And I believe, and right here I'm going to get dropped. You just got to watch out for that. He will go down a lot. He's a good slayer, but like I said, he's a weakling. If you play smart, though, you will have some success, and he is fun to play with. All right, but anyway, like I was saying, yeah, it's just going to be broken, guys. Dark Channel is going to be broken. It's that simple. The difference between Reeve and Dark Channel is the wording, like I said. Reeve says that it's more effective against armor and barriers, meaning that the power Reeve is more effective, where Dark Channel says do more damage to armors and barriers, which sounds like a debuff. So, I don't know. I'll leave that up to you. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And yeah, it's going to be amazing. So overall, right now, the two most broken new DLC characters from this new DLC coming out on Tuesday, and that will be July 17th. Yeah, yeah, the two most broken are probably going to be the Adapt and the Engineer. I went over the Engineer last video, but I'll talk about that real quick once again, just because of my concerns and how I feel about it. The main thing about the Engineer is the fact that he's going to have two grenades, one new, one old, but it just so happens that the old one is the best one in the game, which is arc grenades. And he's going to have a power that is actually going to let him throw out an ammo box. And the ammo box is going to make him very broken. And yeah, that's the issue. That's the issue. I mean, I don't know how to feel about it, because right now, I get so tired of grenade spammers. I hate grenade capacity 5. I hate people who spam grenades. In this video, see me spam grenades. But at least I only have 3 grenades. There's your difference. You gotta think, if I had grenade capacity 3 on, I would have 6 grenades on this guy. I have grenade capacity 3. I would have 6 grenades. And I would be able to do so much better than what I did in this gameplay. And I did really, really well. And that was a really sick dodge. If you didn't see it, you should rewind it and check it out, because it was really cool. But anyway, like I was saying, yeah, it's crazy. it's crazy. So the new engineer is going to be amazing, and all the other classes sound very good, and also sound like they're going to be a lot of fun, and definitely probably somewhat balanced. The only two are going to be the engineer and the adept, which for the new platinum difficulty, it's going to be whatever, because everybody's going to want to do platinum only, and it might be extremely hard. My predictions about platinum and what it's going to be, I think that you're going to be able to get 150,000 credits from platinum, which would be amazing if you could get that much credits. I think that it's definitely going to be harder. I don't know about the enemies having more health or dealing more damage. That is very possible. More than likely, that would make a lot of sense, since silver and gold, there is a big difference between health and damage and armor. So that probably will be there. And then the other thing is going to be the sheer amount of enemies. I don't know if the waves are going to increase. I don't believe they would do that, because I don't think they want to see the games take longer. That's why they don't increase the wave count, guys. It's because as of right now, a normal standard game, an average game, for me takes about, I don't even know, like it probably takes about 20 minutes. Sometimes 25, depending on who I'm playing with, and depending on how slow we're actually playing. If we're playing fast, 20 minutes consistently. If we're playing slow, probably about 15 minutes. So, that's the thing. That is the thing. Like I said, so with platinum, if you were to extend the waves though, yeah, that would make the games very long. Possibly 40 to 45 minutes for like me, or maybe 30, at least 30 minutes for me and my friends, maybe even longer, 35 minutes. And for standard, just random lobby players, maybe Firebase White or whatever, that would probably take like an hour. And nobody wants to play a video game, one match in a video game for an hour. And if you do something like that, you're gonna increase your risk of lagging out, or your Xbox freezing, or something along those lines happening. And yeah, you would be kind of screwed. Now right here, I needed a rocket so bad, so I'm gonna call it out. My buddy Envy is gonna save my life. Thank you, Envy. You are the shit. But yeah, that was awesome. But yeah, I was really stuck in that room. But yeah, guys, that's the thing. That is the thing. So the new DLC, I'm really excited over it. I hope you guys can tell. I am excited over it. Don't think that I'm being a negative Nancy. I'm like, oh god, I don't like the grenades in the dark channel. I think it's gonna be too overpowered. No, that's not what's going on. I just have concerns. I really do. My biggest concern with this game is for people to not enjoy it. I want everyone to enjoy this game as much as I do. And I just feel that if there's something that is going to be so ridiculous as the new engineer, that everyone's going to want to play as it. I mean, everyone will want to play as it. Then you're going to see a lot of lobbies with that. And you're going to see a lot of people who are going to hate it, including myself. So, I don't know. I just feel like if I feel a certain way, I'm sure there's people out there who also feel my same way. So that's my main point. But alright, so let me get off that subject. Let me stop talking about the DLC and get into this whole Drell Vanguard thing. Alright, so the Drell Vanguard. Let's go ahead and talk about this guy a little bit. The first thing is the Drell Vanguard is awesome. He's a lot of fun, honestly. Drells in this game are just fun to play as. His dodge is amazing. His dodge is fun to do. You feel like a ninja. If you guys played Mass Effect 2, I'm sure everyone fell in love like I did with Thane. Thane is amazing. And I was really, really sad to see him die in this game. Although, who didn't see him dying? He had a disease that, of course he was going to die. So it was very, very obvious. But still, the Drells are awesome. But at the end of the day, the biggest problem with the Vanguard is the Adapt. The Adapt is probably still one of the best Adapts in the game. The Drell Adapt is amazing. It is amazing. One of my favorite. I love Drells, but I like that one. Not too big of a fan with the Vanguard. The Vanguard, like I said, he's not your standard Vanguard. He is a super weak Vanguard. He can't detonate his own explosions. Right here I'm going to get grabbed, but luckily a Ravager's going to kill me. That was awesome. But I'm going to get myself up just to not take any risks from my teammates. Anyway, like I was saying, so that's the thing. Like the adapt definitely makes the Vanguard kind of dumb in some ways. Now the Vanguard definitely is fun though. Like I said, you can do the melee thing. I personally don't like melees that much. I like the Krogan melee build. I like the Cerberus melee build. I like that kind of stuff. I like the Geth melee build somewhat. Really, I do not like the Geth melee build. I hate the Geth melee build. But like I said, those are a couple things about just some of the melee builds. This guy can be a decent melee build. I mean, it's fun to just kind of sidekick and roundhouse guys. That's always cool. But I mean, I don't know. Like overall, just not being able to get explosions with your own grenades. Because as you can tell in this gameplay, nobody was helping me. Nobody was playing as a Sorry Justicar or a Reeve person or a Warp person. No one had any type of explosion ability for me. Like I couldn't detonate for nobody. And that's a shame because I would have been helping them out a lot and getting them a lot of free kills if someone would decide to do that. But this guy you really don't need someone to help you. He's good without it, but the biggest downside to him is his health, honestly. And right here, someone on our team's going to get grabbed, so there will be no full extraction for us. So, yeah. But, yeah, you know, like I said, so that's the thing, is that he can play by himself. And if you do play with a team, like an adapt team or something, then he is pretty decent because he has two abilities to set off explosions with the grenades and with the charge. But overall, I don't know. That's just the way you need to play with him. It's just to charge and shoot. You can do some melees if you want. That's cool. His kicks are really fun to do, especially after you get the martial artists going, because they actually become pretty powerful if you build them right. The Rieger Carbine is definitely the best weapon in the game for Vanguards. I hope all you guys by now have the Rieger Carbine. I really hope everybody has the Rieger Carbine. Now right here, I'm going to make a very foolish decision. I decided to run back up top so I can get some grenades. And then I was on my way down, I was just going to chuck some at all the enemies and pretty much make a break for the end. But that didn't happen because I messed up my charge and was not able to charge that Banshee. So I'm not going to make it to the LZ. Unfortunately, I think we only get Lone Survivor. But overall, that was a really fun gameplay. That was really, really awesome gameplay, I thought. And yeah, the Drell Vanguard is pretty cool, honestly. It's not the best Vanguard, but he's also not the worst character in the game, which some people think he is. So I don't know. Anyway, guys, so that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to get some stuff off my chest about the DLC. I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. Please like this video. That would really help me out. And yeah, you guys have a nice day.